yesterday's class, what we have seen is response of a single degree of freedom system. Response of a single degree of freedom system, uh, but damped single degree of freedom system to a phenomena of resonance. So when forcing frequency becomes or tends to be equal to the natural frequency of the system, this is the response of the system that we have got. U of t is given by C1 e raised to minus eta omega t C1 cos omega dt plus C2 sin omega dt plus F0 sin lambda t upon C lambda, and where C1 is equal to U0 and C2 is given by this expression. So now what we are going to do is we are going to plot this response for our for the example in the previous class. So what was the example? If I remember correctly, the value of m was 10 kg. Then the value of k was 1000 Newton per meter. That gives me omega is equal to 10 radian per second. We have to select the value of c. So let us take it as underdamped system. So I will choose value of c as 10 kg per second. So the moment I choose the value of c as 10 kg per second, c upon c star, which is equal to eta, this becomes 10 divided by c star is 2m omega. So 2 into 10 into 10. So this becomes 1 by 20, if I am right. So c upon c star, that is eta, becomes 1 by 20. So what is the response of the system? So I will write down the response of the system, and let us say that the forcing function, what is the force that we are applying? F0 cos lambda t. So let us say F0 is forcing function is F0 here. Let us say it is 100 Newton. And lambda, we are trying to take it close to omega. So that is equal to 10 radian per second. So for this, what is the response of the system? U of t. And let us say U0 is 0 and U0 dot is also 0. That means the system has started from the rest. So velocity and displacement at the commencement of the motion is 0. So we say that the system starts from rest. What is the response? So let me put it this way. U of t is equal to e raised to minus eta omega t. I will write down that e raised to minus 1 by 20 because eta is 20. Then omega is 10 into t. So minus e raised to minus eta omega t into bracket c1. But c1 is u0 and u0 is 0. So therefore, this is going to be 0 cos omega dt. So 0 into cos omega dt. Cos omega dt plus c2 into sin omega dt. What is the value of c2? u0 dot is 0, so therefore this value is going to vanish. u0 is 0, therefore this term is also going to vanish. So therefore c2 is going to be equal to minus f0 upon c omega d. So it is going to be minus f0 is 100 upon c. What is the value of c? C is 10. And what is the value of omega d? Omega d is omega into square root of 1 minus eta square. So 1 minus 1 by 20 bracket square. This bracket complete. Sin omega dt. Sin omega d. This is the first part of the response. What is the second part of the response? So u of t, you can observe it is plus f0 sine lambda t upon c lambda. So that's what I'm going to write down. f0 sine lambda is 10 because we are saying that the system is reached to resonance. So sine lambda t, so that is nothing but sine 10 in 10t 10t upon c lambda. So what is the value of c? C is 10, lambda is also 10. So this is the response. So let us plot it. Let me start sharing the screen so that you will see. In the same example sheet. I hope the sheet is visible. Now this is dynamic magnification factor. This we were discussing. This is harmonic excitation. This is a response of undamped system to the resonance. So when omega became equal to lambda for undamped system, this is how the response is. And now we are trying to have harmonic response of damped system. So damped system ka harmonic response at resonance. That's what we are trying to do. So first column is T 0, 0.05 in this multiples, or just give me a second, 0.05, and we will go up to 10 seconds. Yeah. Now, or let us go up to 30 seconds. So I am plotting the response up to 33 seconds. That's fine. And now U of t. U of t. Let me plot this response. So what is the equation? This is equal to, look at the expression, it is e raised to minus 1 by 20 into 10 into t. So 10 by 20 becomes half. So it is minus 0.5 t. So that's what I'm going to write. Exponential minus 0.5 into t. So t is a2. This complete into bracket. First term is going to vanish. Second term, you can see 100 here. So that 100 cancels out with this 100. So it is minus 1 upon square root of SQRT square root of 1 minus in bracket 1 by 20 bracket square root complete. This multiplied by sine omega dt multiplied by sine. What is the value of omega d? Value of omega d is omega, that is 10 into square root of 1 minus 1 by 20 square. I have just substituted the value of omega d multiplied by t. T is this. So this is complete. So first part is complete. Plus 100 upon 100 is 1. So it is going to be plus sine 10t. So that's what I'm going to write. Plus sine 10 into t. So the first term gets completed here. Yes. So let me plot this. So how does it look like? Okay. So Vedant, can you unmute yourself? Vedant, can you
Hello?
unmute yourself?
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, my internet might be a bit unstable in the middle.
Okay. If it is unstable, you can mute yourself. But
Okay,
are
okay.
you able to observe this response? So you see at resonance, the response, just like the harmonic case, just like the harmonic case of resistance, is goes on building up, but then it stabilizes. It doesn't go on increasing in an unbounded fashion. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So this is how the response of damped system to resonance looks like. You can imagine that the static deformation is only 0.1. As against that, the dynamic deformation at resonance becomes 1. So it is very high. It is 10 times. That's okay. But the response is bounded. So damping gives you the guarantee that even at resonance, the response is not going to be unbounded. It is not going to tend to infinity. It is going to stabilize at some value which is much greater than static deformation. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with this, we have come to the end of single degree of freedom systems. And let me summarize what all we have done in the single degree of freedom systems. And then we will go ahead with analysis of multi degree of freedom system. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us summarize what all we have done in single degree of freedom system. एंड आई एम गोइंग टू आस्क यू टू मेक ए समरी शीट. तो इसका समरी शीट आप ही बनाने वाले हो, लेकिन कैसे बनाना है वो मैं आपको बताता हूँ. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
So let us do it. So summary SDOF system, single degree of freedom systems. इसमें हमने क्या क्या किया है? So the first thing that we started with was the analysis of undamped single degree of freedom system. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And it was disturbed to the amount U0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And then it was left, means we have plugged this system towards right by U0, and then we just left it. So it started oscillating about its mean position, and this kind of oscillation, this analysis, we called it as analysis of undamped. Are you with me? Undamped
Yes, sir.
free vibration. Why free vibration? Because during the vibration there was no external force. Do you agree with me? Yeah. So during vibration, there was no external force. So this type of vibration, this is the class of problem that we solved first, and we called it as undamped free vibration, followed by damped free vibration. So we also talked about a system where you have M here, C here, K here. You pluck this system by amount U0 and you just left it. This analysis, we called it as damped free vibration. Damped free vibration. This damped free vibration had three cases. One is underdamped system, critically damped system, critically damped system, and then we had a overdamped system. So we dealt with the damped free vibration of underdamped, critically damped and overdamped system all together. So this was case B that we handled. Then there is a case C, which we talked about, and this was single degree of freedom system, damped single degree of freedom system subjected to f of t. So it is forced damped forced vibration analysis. And in this, we looked only at the underdamped system. So I'm going to call it as underdamped system. We did not deal with forced vibration of overdamped and critically damped system. So we are only talking about underdamped forced vibration. And what are the various types of forces that we looked into? The very first force that we looked into was a unit impulse, something like this, which was not defined at tau. So we call this force as delta of t minus tau, direct delta function, or this is the response of the system is also called as impulse response function. Impulse response function. Then I told you how to obtain the solution for any type of f of t using impulse response function. That was just a discussion. I showed you using integration and using this impulse response function, how can we obtain the response of single degree of freedom system to any kind of loading. But the second particular type of load that we dealt with was Heaviside step function, and it looked something like this. So this is u of t minus tau. The third type of f of t that we dealt with was suddenly applied load and then suddenly dropping load. So this is T1, this is T2, and this was, let us say, F. This was, let us say, F. So it is u of t minus tau into F, by the way. Then we dealt with this kind of load. And then we dealt with harmonic excitations. So मैंने cos lambda t के लिए करके दिखाया आपको, f0 cos lambda t, f0 cos lambda t. So if it is f0 cos lambda t, it should start with f0. This is f0. At 0, cos lambda t is 1, so it should have value f0. So this is f0 cos lambda t. A similar exercise you can do for f0 sin lambda t. All these steps remain same. Nothing is going to change except the choice of particular integral. That's very easy, that you can do it on your own. So these are the four things for which we have done the analysis of forced vibration analysis of underdamped system. And then we talked about, in this particular case, we talked about the phenomena of resonance. When forcing frequency lambda approached natural frequency of the system omega, and then in case of resonance we obtained the response of damped as well as undamped system. So underdamped system and undamped system. So we saw that at resonance, undamped system shows unbounded response, whereas underdamped system shows bound response. ये दो चीजें हमने की थी. So this in total is the summary of all the exercises that we have done in single degree of freedom system. What I want you to do is, now for each of this case, I want you to write down the expression for u of t and keep it as a summary sheet. That will be allowed to be used as it is in your exam. You need not memorize that. You need to just understand the derivation, and you need to keep the results ready. So write down results of all these forces on a piece of paper. You are allowed to refer that as you refer IS 456 in design of RCC स्ट्रक्चर्स. वैसे ही इसका रिस्पांस आपको रेफर करने के लिए अलाउड है ड्यूरिंग द एग्जामिनेशन. एम आई वेरी क्लियर? वेदांग, आर यू देयर? Yes. So if you have understood this, I am very clear. I don't want you to remember anything, but I want you to remember the process. जिस प्रोसेस से हमने डेरिवेशन किया और उसके जो कंसेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. Everything else you can write it down on a piece of paper. You can keep all this formula with you. I will, if the space permits, I will try to reproduce this formula in the paper wherever required, in whichever question required. So don't worry about that. But conceptually, you must be sound. That is what is the expectation. Now let us go to multi-degree of freedom system. So today we are going to start with a new topic, and that we are going to call it as multi-degree of freedom system. And we write down its short form as MDOF. जैसे हमने SDOF लिखा था, वैसे इस सिस्टम को हम बोलते हैं मल्टी डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम सिस्टम. एंड आई वांट नाउ समवन टू अनम्यूट. सो इसको बोला जाए. ओके, तो श्रेयस, कैन यू अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ? श्रेयस?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So are you with me till this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. So now we are going to deal with multi-degree of freedom system, and let me give you an example of multi-degree of freedom system. The example of multi-degree of freedom system is, by the way, in this single degree of freedom system, we have done one more thing. I forgot to mention that, and that we have done in lab class, where I have shown such kind of system excited with base excitation. So we call that as UG double dot of T. So ground motion को अगर ये earthquake जैसे ground motion को अगर ये system subject हो गया, तो how does it behave? उसका solution that we have done in the lab sessions. So that also is a part of SDOF system. So this was the summary, that those all things you have to keep it ready on a piece of paper in the form of formula. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us have another example. Let us look at this system. So this system, as you can see, it is a two-story building. This is ground story and this is first story. So it is a G+1 frame. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you tell me, in a typical building, where is the maximum mass located? Ignore the wall. Walls are not considered as structural elements. So their load anyway goes to the beams, that is floor level. So where is most of the mass of the building located? It is located at floor levels. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So this is the first floor level and this is roof level. These are the two floor levels at which I can say the mass of the building is concentrated. The columns are going to have relatively lesser mass. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So floor mass. So I am going to call the first this as M2. I am going to call this mass as M1. So M1 and M2, they represent the mass of the floor 1 and floor and roof slab. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, where is the stiffness located? Stiffness, however, is located in the columns. Do you agree with me? So columns are
Yes.
stiffness elements. Happy? And then we are going to talk about the damping little later. First of all, we are going to look at undamped multi-degree of freedom system. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So undamped. And to start with, we are going to look at 2 degree of freedom system. So 2 degree of freedom system is also a multi-degree of freedom system. 3 degree of freedom system is also multi-degree of freedom. But we are looking at a specific case, 2 degree of freedom system. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if I apply time dependent forces here, so let us say this is force F1 of t and this is force F2 of t. Happy? There are 2 time dependent forces that are acting here. One is F1 of t and another is F2 of t at the floor levels. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, can I convert this into equivalent to degree of freedom system in the form of mass and spring notation? The answer is yes. How? That I am going to show you now. We will perform a thought experiment. Let us say the displacement at the first floor as a function of time, I am going to call it as u1 of t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And displacement at the second floor, I am going to call it as u2 of t. I assume that u2 of t is greater than u1 of t. That is my assumption to start with. To start with, I will assume u2 of t is greater than u1 of t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And both are positive. So if this is my x direction, both are towards right. Both are towards right. Happy? There is no compelling reason that this should hold good for all instances of time. So it is not true for all instances of time. For all instances. But I start with this. If after the analysis I get a negative sign, I I get to know that there is a contradiction. Originally assumed senses are not correct. Are you with me, Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, tell me, look at the columns of the first story and look at the columns of the second story. Or columns of the ground story and columns of the first story. In the columns of the ground story, whatever are the stresses and strains that are induced, they are on account of u1 of t. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to draw a deformed shape at a given time instant. So let us say at time t equal to t star, I observe this building frame and it has deformed in this particular fashion. I'm going to draw a deformed shape. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
चलो इसका डिफॉर्म शेप में ड्रॉ करता हूं at a particular instant of time, and I assume that this slab and column connection is a fixed connection. Slab is infinitely stiff, so the stiffness of slab is infinite in comparison with the column stiffness. Column is flexible, so therefore how does the deformed shape look like? So I'm now only going to draw the deformed shape of the ground story. The ground story deforms in this fashion. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
The ground story has deformed in this fashion. And what is u of t? U of t is the distance between centroid of the slab in undeformed condition, which will be somewhere here, and centroid of the slab in the deformed condition. So this is u of t. So in other words, I can say this is u of t. Do you agree with me, Shreyas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is u1 of t star. So at time t star, u1 is this much. Now tell me, more the u1 of t star, more are going to be the stresses and strains induced in the column. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the stresses and strains in the column, they depend upon u1 of t in general. Happy?
Yes.
I am talking about only ground story columns. Now, let us look at how the second story deforms. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let us say the second story deforms in this fashion. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And now the total deformation of the second story, I am going to call it as U2 of T star. As I am drawing this deformed shape at time t equal to T star, I will say it is U2 of T star. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, the stresses and strains in the columns of first story, they depend on what displacement? Which displacement? Can you answer me that?
Of the first floor.
No, they will depend upon the relative displacement of the second story with reference to the first story. That means they are the stresses stresses and strains in this column, they are going to be functions of U2 of T star minus U1 of T star. How? I will prove it to you. Chalo. Let us imagine that this is the first story, this is the ground story, and this is the first story. Happy? Are you with
Yes,
me?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
After deformation, the first story deforms in this fashion, and second story deforms in this fashion. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is U2 of T star. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
And uh, this is U1 of T star. Happy? ये वाला quantity.
Yes, sir.
But as you can see, this second story or the first story has just translated as it is. Therefore, U2 of T star and U1 of T star are going to be same. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, therefore, the column will remain straight. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
The moment column remains straight, why will there be any stress and strain induced in it? It is like car moving from one place to other. Are you with me?
Yes.
It's like you are pushing a chair from one place to other. All the columns, they are going to move by same distances. There is no relative displacement. Why would there be strains and stresses in columns? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Stresses and strains in column, they would arise, for the first story would arise only and only if this story has such kind of deformation. Are you with me? In that case, U2 of T star will be different than U1 of T star, and the stresses induced in this column will be corresponding to U2 of T star minus U1 of T star. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So are you convinced that the stresses and strains in the first story column, they are going to be dependent upon U2 of T star minus U1 of T star? Happy?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And now what I am going to do is I am going to draw free body diagram of two slabs at this time instant. So at T star, you may feel that this is seemingly discussion which is not related to multi-degree of freedom system, but it is very much related to it. We are coming to that point. But right now, let me complete this exercise that we are talking about. Are you with me? So let me draw free body diagram of first floor slab. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Means which floor slab? This one. Happy? At time t equal to T star. So I am going to draw the free body diagram at time t equal to T star. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So this is the base. ये base है. And the slab has moved like this. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
the slab has moved by this amount. And the second story slab, it has moved by this much amount. Happy? Now, by what amount has the first slab moved? It has moved by amount U1 of T star. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This is U1 of T star. By what amount the second slab has moved?
U2 of T.
So this distance is, tell me, U2 of T star. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
चलो, I am drawing the free body diagram of this slab. इस स्लैब का मैं फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम बना रहा हूं. हैप्पी?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me? So free the body from all external agencies. All external agencies are 4 columns meeting here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So I am freeing the body from all external agencies. Earth is also external. So this is m1 times g. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
On this slab, you are having the force which is equal to, okay, notation जरा गड़बड़ हो गया. I am going to call it as F1 of T and this is F2 of T. So you are going to have force which is equal to F1 of T. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And I should write F1 of T star. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What else is acting on this slab? There are 4 reactions from 4 columns. Do you agree with me? 1, 2, 3 and 4. I will have to cut this slab from these columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I am going to have 4 reactions. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Those 4 reactions I am going to show in this fashion. I am assuming U2 is greater than U1. Therefore, all these reactions are going to be towards left. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And I am assuming U1 and U2 are positive. So therefore, all the reactions are towards left. Now, can you tell me how much are these reactions? हर एक reaction ये कितना है? So let us try to first write down the reactions that I have marked in red. Happy?
Yes, sir.
जो reactions मैंने red में mark किए हैं, वो लिखने की कोशिश करते हैं. So this is the column. Happy?
Yes, sir.
The length of first story, height of first story, let us call it as H1. Height of second story, let us call it as H2. So this is H1. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
If you have to move this by amount delta, इसको डेल्टा अमाउंट से मूव करना है ना? Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Column's bottom edge is fixed at this point and column's top edge is fixed at this point. So you have to move it by amount delta which is equal to U1 of T star. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
U1 of T star. तो कौन से डायरेक्शन में फोर्स लगाना पड़ेगा बताओ मुझे जरा. In which direction you must apply the force? You must apply the force in this direction. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Consequently, in which direction are you going to have the reaction here? In this direction. Happy?
Yes.
And it is going to cause clockwise movement. So therefore, you are also going to have anti-clockwise movements here. These are the total reactions. Now, can you tell me how much is this anti-clockwise movement? It is 6 CR delta upon L square. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
6 CR delta upon H1 square, structural analysis 1 or 2, I guess 2. And then this is 6 CR delta upon L square. This is also 6 CR delta upon H1 square. So how do you write this reaction? तो क्या करना है? इन moments की sum लेनी है और उसको H1 से divide करना है. So how much are these two reactions independently? Sum कितना होगा? 12 EI delta. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Upon H1 square, लेकिन H1 से और एक बार divide करना है. So each of these reactions is going to be 12 EI delta upon H1 cube. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is the action taken by slab on the column top. So column on the slab top will take the action in opposite direction. So this force is going to be equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So can I write it as 12 EI delta upon H cube? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So ये रेड में जो फोर्स लिखा है उसको मैं लिखूंगा 12 EI, देखो यहाँ नहीं लिखता हूँ, रेड में लिखा हुआ जो फोर्स है उसको यहाँ नीचे लिखता हूँ. Are you with me? How much is that? 12 EI. Delta is U1 of T star. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
12 EI delta upon H1 cube. अब जरा मुझे बताओ, ये 2D व्यू मैंने दिखाया है तो इसके पीछे भी तो कॉलम होंगे. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So truly speaking, ये इसका व्यू ऐसे दिखने वाला है. It is this structure. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So when you see from this side, you are going to see only these two columns, but actually these are 4 columns total. तो इसके पीछे भी और एक कॉलम रहने वाला है. So should I multiply this by 2? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And similarly, this is also going to be equal to the same quantity. So what is the total force corresponding to two red arrows? It is 4 times 12 EI delta upon H1 cube. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
चलो अब जरा एक काम करते हैं, यही चीज we are going to do it for the green lines shown here. Happy?
Yes, sir.
तो अपना जरा रेफरेंस देखो, दिस इज ग्राउंड. ग्राउंड से the first floor slab has moved by amount U1 of T star. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And अब जरा देखो ये कॉलम जो है सेकंड स्टोरी स्लैब, this has moved by this total amount U2 of T star. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
But now I am interested only in this one. So how much is that? Can you tell me? U2 of T star minus U1 of T star.
U1 of T star.
Happy?
Yes, sir.
So what will be this force? Can you tell me? It will be 2 times, क्योंकि इसके पीछे भी एक कॉलम है और इसके पीछे भी और एक कॉलम है. So therefore each of this green line will be 2 times 12 EI U2 of T star minus U1 of T star upon H cube. Do you agree with H2 cube? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So I am going to write down the magnitude of this green lines. Each of this green line will correspond to a force of 12 EI U2 of T star minus U1 of T star. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Divided by H2 cube.
H2 cube.
And this is each of this green line. So total force is 4 times 12 EI into this quantity. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So let me do it properly. Chalo. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Great. अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. If I were to draw the free body diagram of upper story slab, तो मुझे क्या दिखाना पड़ेगा? So on upper story slab, I will have to show the forces applied by top ends of these two columns. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
But what are these two forces? These two forces are exactly the same in magnitude as these two. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
जैसे मैंने यहाँ दिखाया था 12 EI upon delta upon H1 cube, ये भी 12 EI delta upon H1 cube है. So therefore these two are going to be exactly same as these two forces. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
तो अब जरा देखो, and I will have to show F2 of t here. Happy? F2 of t here. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ. अब जरा मुझे बताओ, if I were to F2 of t star to be precise, if I were to write down the equations of motion of these two slabs, तो कैसे लिखूं? We will consider one slab at a time. So this is FBD of second slab and this is FBD of first slab. So on first FBD of first slab, let me apply Newton's second law. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Newton's second law on FBD of first slab. Happy?
Yes, sir.
तो यहाँ पे हम फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड दोनों की एफबीडी दिखा रहे हैं. सो आई एम गोइंग टू कॉल दिस एज सेकेंड स्लैब एंड दिस इज द फर्स्ट स्लैब. हैप्पी?
Yes, sir.
We are going to apply Newton's second law. In which direction? In x direction. Happy?
Yes, sir.
चलो, look at this diagram. फर्स्ट स्लैब के डायग्राम को देखो and tell me what all forces are acting on this slab. कौन से फोर्सेस एक्ट हो रहे हैं x डायरेक्शन में? F1 of t is acting. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, सो वो मैं लिख देता हूँ F1 of t. हैप्पी?
F1 of T star. No?
हाँ, t star है, but t star is any instant. So if I generalize this, I can replace all t stars by t. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, so F1 of t. और कौन से फोर्सेस एक्ट हो रहे हैं x डायरेक्शन में, बताओ मुझे. These two forces which are shown by red arrow and these two forces which are shown by green arrow. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
तो रेड एरो से जो फोर्सेस दिखाए वो कितने हैं बताओ मुझे टोटल. तो वो रेड में ही लिखता हूं सो दैट यू कैन को रिलेट. सो प्लस, लेकिन प्लस नहीं होगा, माइनस होगा बिकॉज दे आर इन निगेटिव एक्स
Negative
डायरेक्शन.
angle.
सो माइनस 48 EI. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
U1. Now you have to understand that U1 is a function of t. I will not write it because it will complicate the appearance of the equation. So 48
Yes, sir.
U1 upon H1 cube. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
F1 is function of time. Similarly, U1 is also a function of time. And then you have these two forces. So how do I write them? Minus 48 EI. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
और क्या लिखूं बताओ मुझे.
U2 minus U.
U2 minus U1. U2 minus U1. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Upon H2 cube. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
This has to be equal to what? This cannot be 0. This has to be equal to mass into acceleration of the first slab. So what is the acceleration of first slab? U1 double dot. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What is the mass of first slab? M1. So this is my first
Excuse me,
equilibrium.
sir.
Yes, go ahead.
So could you please define the forces in red and the forces written in green? So like what can we call them?
Okay. So look at the first story. First story slab में the forces that are exerted by column tops which are marked in red on the slab, they are the forces in red. Do you agree with me?
Okay.
Imagine that you have a four leg stool और वो stool के जो legs है those are fixed at the ground. You try to
Yes.
pull the top of the stool. जैसे ही आप टॉप को पुल करने की कोशिश करते हो, क्या वो लेग्स उसके ऊपर रिएक्शनरी फोर्स लगाएंगे? नहीं लगाएंगे
Yes.
ना. those are these forces
Yes. Okay,
in
sir.
red. What about the forces in which I have marked in green? तो देखो जैसे ये स्लैब डिफॉर्म हो रहा है, ऊपर वाला स्लैब भी तो डिफॉर्म हो रहा है. Do you agree
Yes.
with me? सो नीचे वाला स्लैब और ऊपर वाला स्लैब, इनके बीच में जो रिलेटिव डिफॉर्मेशन है, उसके वजह से इस कॉलम में कुछ फोर्सेस जनरेट होंगे.
Yes.
And the force applied by bottom of this column on this slab, that is the one which is shown in green. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो इसको कैसे आप देख सकते हो? तो you can imagine that you have a stool which is fixed to the ground. उसके ऊपर आप एक inverted stool लगाओ. Are you with me?
Yes.
हाँ, and उसका दोनों स्टूल के जो टॉप से उनको नेल कर दो. And also nail the legs of the upper stool. So it is going to look something like this. Do you agree with me? ऐसे दिखेगा ना?
Yes. Yes.
This is the bottom stool. Are you with me? This is the top stool. इसको आप fix कर दो कहीं तो भी. You derive some support. Here also you fix it. Happy?
Yes, sir.
अब जहां पे fix करना है मतलब you just fix another plate here. Pull this plate by some amount. जैसे ही आप इस प्लेट को पुल करते हो and pull it by some amount, इन दोनों में जो नेट डिफरेंस है उसके वजह से यहाँ पे कुछ फोर्सेस प्रोड्यूस होंगे कि नहीं होंगे?
Yes.
Those forces are these forces. Are you able to understand that?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो वो फोर्सेस हमने लिख दिया. अभी वो कैसे कैलकुलेट किए, उसमें कोई दिक्कत है क्या, बताओ?
No, no, sir.
Okay. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to apply Newton's second law to the first story slab. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And I get this equation. अब इसमें मैं क्या करने वाला हूँ? I am going to take all the terms which are only functions of time on the right hand side, and all the terms, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And all the terms which are functions of u1 u1 dot and u1 double dot on one side. So ये करने के बाद इसी इक्वेशन का रूप क्या होगा, बताओ मुझे? So I have m1 u1 double dot. Do you agree with me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Then you are going to have u1 वाले टर्म्स, तो ये टर्म उधर जाके प्लस होने वाला है. Do you agree with me? This term will go on the other side and will become positive. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So I am writing the plus side. What is that term? 48 EI. 48 EI upon H1 cube. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Into U1. So I am going to write down that U1 here. Happy?
Yes, sir.
लेकिन U1 का एक टर्म इधर भी है, जरा देखो. And this minus sign will become positive. But when it goes on the other side, it will remain negative. So it will be minus 48 EI upon H2 cube. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
सही है कि नहीं? Are you able to understand
Yes,
this?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
And then U2 की टर्म कहाँ पे है? सिर्फ यहाँ पे, and that is minus. So it will go on the other side and it will become positive. So you will have 48 EI upon 48 EI upon H2 cube, right?
Yes, sir. Into U2.
Into U2. Happy? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And this will be equal to F1 of t, because F1 of t stays on this side. As I said, all the things which are functions of time only, I am going to keep them on one side. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So this is actually our first equation. Are you able to understand that?
Yes, sir.
And now I am going to write down the second equation. So once we complete this exercise, then you will understand why I am doing this. I am now going to apply Newton's second law to the second or roof slab. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So किसको apply करने वाला हूँ? I am going to apply Newton's second law to not the first slab. Now I am going to apply it to the second slab. Happy?
Yes, sir.
चलो, तो सेकंड स्लैब पे फोर्सेस बताओ कौन कौन से है. And by the way, you did not ask me what happens to m1 times g. It is in vertical direction. We are writing the equation in horizontal direction. So it is of no use. Here also you are going to have m2g. But it is not going to appear in this equation because we are writing the equation in x direction. Happy?
Yes, sir.
What is the equation? Tell me. f2 of t star. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So f2 of t जो कि राइट में है. And then these two blue arrows, but what is the value of this blue arrows? Same as the green ones. So it is going to be 48 EI minus 48 EI into bracket U2 minus U1. Do you agree with me? Upon
Yes, sir.
H2 cube. This must be equal to mass of the second slab into U2 double dot. Acceleration of the second slab is U2 double dot. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So U1 of T is the U1 of T is the displacement of first slab and U2 of T is the displacement of second slab. Happy?
Yes, sir.
तो ये और यहाँ पे रिलेटिव एक्सेलरेशन नहीं है, यहाँ पे एक्सेलरेशन ऑफ सेकंड स्लैब है क्योंकि हम न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ सेकंड स्लैब को लगा रहे हैं. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we are going to do the same thing. I am going to keep M2 U2 double dot on one side. Happy?
Yes, sir.
What are the terms that are involved in U1 and U2? Those will go on the other side. So ये माइनस है वो प्लस होगा. So it is going to be plus 48 EI by H2 cube into U2. Do you agree with me? And
Yes, sir.
minus 48 EI upon H2 cube into U1. Happy?
Yes, sir.
This is equal to F2 of T. And this is my second equation. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now can I write down first and second equation in terms of a matrix form? That can easily be done. कैसे कर रहा हूं जरा देखो. M1 0 M2 sorry 0 M2. Then you are going to have U1 double dot U2 double dot. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Plus अब जरा देखो, I am going to have U1 and U2 here. Look at the first equation. What is the coefficient of U1 and what is the coefficient of U2 in the first and second equation? जरा देखो. अच्छा, यहाँ पे कुछ गड़बड़ हुई है क्या? No. That's all right. Just give me a second. How do I write it? So 48 EI upon 48 EI upon H2 cube. Is that right? This will get multiplied by U2 and U1 is going to be 48 EI upon H1 cube. साइन में कुछ गड़बड़ है क्या? देखो यहाँ पे. Just check the sign. Minus. This is minus. U2 minus U1 That's correct. So
Correct, sir.
sign is also correct. So 48 EI upon H1Q, 48 EI upon H1Q minus 48 EI upon H2Q. This gets multiplied by U1, this gets multiplied by U2. Then in second equation, I have 48 EI upon H2Q. That's correct. And no, 48 EI upon H2Q. Suppose that is the coefficient of U2. U1 का coefficient क्या है? Minus 48 EI upon second equation में U1 is going to be minus. Okay, let's have a look at this. Minus 48 EI upon H2Q. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And 48 EI upon 48 EI upon H2Q. U. This is equal to F1 of T and F2 of T. We will cross verify all the terms in this once again, but this is how we can convert this into the matrix form. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. You can expand the first row. So M1 U1 double dot plus 0 U2 double dot plus this term into U1 plus this term into U2 is equal to F1 of T, which is the first equation. Happy?
Yes, sir.
If you expand the second row, it is 0 into U1 double dot plus M2 into U2 double dot plus this into U1 plus this into U2 is equal to F2 of T, which is second equation. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So this is the matrix representation of these two equations that we have written down. Now tell me, what are the unknowns? The unknowns are U1 and U2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So therefore we call this as 2 degree of freedom system. The only unknowns which we are interested in are U1 and U2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
U1 of T and U2 of T. So such system is 2 degree of freedom system. Now if I have 3 slabs, it is going to be 3 degree of freedom system. 4 slabs, 4 degree of freedom system. In general, this is a class of multi-degree of freedom system. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Till now, we used to have only U of T. Now we have 2 degrees of freedom, and therefore the governing differential equations can be written in matrix form this way. So we call this as mass matrix. We call this as stiffness matrix. Why? We will come to that. And we call this as force matrix. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, how to handle this, that we will learn in the next class. Today we are going to stop at this level. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let me stop recording.